All right, folks, welcome to a higher time frame analysis, higher time frame market outlook, where I think where the market will go in the longer term basis on AUD and DXY. I guess don't see gold and silver anymore. I stopped doing that because the reason is that specialist. You gotta be specialist on one asset. Specialist makes more than a generalist. That's a quote, and that's actually true. And the other thing is because it's very hard for me to pay attention to all these assets at once. Crypto is higher time frame. EU and DXY is lower time frame. So if I do this with gold, I have to pitch to gold a lot, and that is confusing to me, right? It's not a confusing. It's just that I either forget or I get analysis paralysis, right? So if I have my focus on one pair, I usually never get analysis paralysis, but when I have two pairs, I start second guessing my analysis, on the asset. So, and I generally only trade EU, and I can't trade gold because I can only trade gold through prop firms, otherwise unrelegated brokers, because it's banned in it's banned in the United States. The only thing that's allowed is Forex, which I love, right? So, which is the most controlled market ever, because as you guys know, Forex is the most controlled out of all. So let's get straight into it. We're first gonna go over DXY before we go over to GEU, because DXY is more important than EU. We should actually be only analyzing GEU, DXY and trading EU, right? But we have to also monitor, they both are equal, but on ways on where the market's gonna go, DXY is much more important. There's no comment on that, right? On a 2-month time frame, we're talking about range low, range high, range low got super, range high. You can see the below the range low, the candle super to the low never got closed below. We got a wick below. Eventually, that started the bull cycle on the DXY in a higher time frame. On the 2-month time, we're talking about IRO back to euro, the 2-month S&T to the upside, as well as a 2-month. That's what we have on a 2-month time frame. 6-month IRL S&T back to euro, the 6-month to the upside. Another 6-month double purge, push the range high, push the range low, but the range low had S&T, so we have a double purge to the upside on a 3-month time frame with 3-month series upside, 3-month S&T IRL back to euro, a 3-month series upside as well. Which I already made 3 recording on this, right? But almost 3 recordings got kind of messed up a little bit because I was also doing gold and silver, but I found out that from Romeo, and Romeo said to trade only one pair, trading more than one asset. Because I keep in mind when I'm saying Romeo said this, right? I'm not gonna go by him. I'm not gonna go by his word instantly, right? I have to look at other sources. I have to do my own research, right? I looked at the traders I look up to. Romeo himself, he said you should be only trading one asset, which I see him primarily trade EU and trade crypto, right? Crypto, he doesn't day trade it, right? As you can know, you could never, he does day trade it, but he's very highly skilled, so he can't trade it, right? Because day trading fucking crypto, I don't know. I mean, if you go back to crypto right now, how are you gonna day trade crypto? Yes, in a higher time frame, you could trade it, but the lower time frame, how are you going to, trade this accumulation? Right? You can't day trade that accumulation zone, right? You can't really accumulate. You can't trade the accumulation zone, and you can see we have been beautifully correct on on our prediction on crypto. This is a post I made on X, which went a little viral, which is beautiful. Which we're going to actually, I need to be there because I'm gonna make another video on that. But that's why, right? So getting specialists, right? I only see Romeo talking about EU. And the other guy I look up to is, Vito Rossi. He only trades what? EU. It's all EU and GU, but barely GU, but primarily EU. Other guy I look up to is what? unicity. You trade only primarily EU. You trade multiple pairs, but to me, as I said, I like to trade one pair more than multiple pairs. It gets me very confused. But on the monthly time frame, we have a monthly ERL SMT back to monthly IRL. On the weekly time frame, we have a weekly ERL back to weekly IRL. This weekly fair value can get tapped, or this weekly IRL, right? Doesn't really matter, whichever. To me, it looks like to be this weekly IRL back to weekly ERL, and go on from there. On the daily time frame, we have a daily range, with low, with high, stable, low, stable, high, premium discount. We have a tab discount, daily range high. But before we go up higher, we need to tap the weekly key level, as well as we have a daily CRT. So if this key level gets tapped, we're going to trade it, but the key level is far away from the current price mark and it gets tapped, then we cannot trade it without the candle close first, because total soups happen and the new candles, not the end of the old candles. Now go down to lower time frame. 4-hour time frame, bearish order flow, bearish market profiling. We don't have much in a 4-hour time frame. We don't have much. If we close above this high or above this low, then eventually we can have a bullish order flow. Otherwise, we're gonna have a bearish. We're gonna be bearish until the market gives that context that he wants to go up higher. So going over to the quality asset, which was EU. EU 12-month time frame with a 12-month SMT downside with DXY, as well as the 12-month seated downside. We have a 6-month seated downside, a 6-month IRL back to ERL, as well as a 3-month time frame. We have a 3-month range high, range low, range high, personal range low, which points to a 6-month low, as well as we have a 3-month IRL back to ERL, as well on the weekly time frame, the monthly time frame, with monthly. What do we have here? Monthly ERL back to IRL, monthly premium ERL to discounted IRL, which is all down here. Why this candle? Because this portion of this candle is in the premium region. So we want to go to this specific monthly CRT. On the monthly time frame, as you can see, DXY did take out the low, but EU did not. Right? So the monthly CRT high did get souped on DXY, but the monthly low on EU did not get souped because they call it opposite. So we do have SMT, as you guys know. We're still gonna go down to it, but we just need to retrace, right? We just need to do a little retracement. In the lower time frame, the monthly CRT low doesn't have any rejection block. So, but what we do have here is we did retrace, so the retracement is fine enough to go down lower from there on forward. So on the weekly time frame, weekly IRL back to weekly ERL, as well as we have a weekly. We don't have no weekly CRT. There may be a weekly CRT, but I don't see there being any weekly CRTs here to the downside. But we do have a weekly IRL back to ERL. This weekly fair value gap or this weekly order block. Doesn't really matter. They're both IRL. Pricing weekly IRL back to weekly ERL. This low. Eventually, this low is below the monthly low, so we should definitely see that getting met as well. And one last thing is, although we do have a monthly SMT, it doesn't really matter because keep in mind it's a monthly time frame. We trade the weekly. Our weekly time frame is our main analysis point, right? So weekly, the monthly, yes, we do have SMT with it, but keep in mind the lower time frame, there is no resistance block there. There's no key level there that is supporting it to go up higher. So we're still gonna go down lower. Simple, right? We have in lower time frame, the daily time frame, daily range here. We have a so we shoot at a high, shoot at a low, stable high, stable low. Premium discount. We tapped the premium doing the range low, as well as we haven't tapped the key level. So once you tap the key level, we can instantly look for shorts. Eventually, we have a looking for a pop of a high. Then we're looking for a dump on old low, as well as keep in mind we're on the daily time frame. You only care about if the principal important key levels, which is if it's highs that break. The only important key level after there being a daily range is the highs that break the lows and the lows that break the highs, right? In this case, this high broke this low, right? But this high never broke this low. It just rejected a little low. So that's why this market, when the market went up here, it really reversed very strongly. And that's the important key level. But in this case, you can see there is no highs that broke the lows. So we don't have no all of that key level. So we're not looking for the market to go up to a specific price point, they go down lower. We're just looking for a sweep to the downside because we don't have no highs that break the lows inside of the daily range, right? The only time we're looking for the important key levels is when there's a daily range after the premium or discount gets tapped. After it gets tapped, if there is the important key levels, then we could look for that to get tapped, then go lower or higher. But if it's not there, then we're not looking for it, right? So yeah, simple as that, as we have for EU on the daily time frame. We as well got attention to the weekly profiles, which we always do. On a lower time frame, we're bullish order flow. At the moment, it's the high that broke this low. This highs, I mean, you could say this high has never broke this low because it never broke below it, right? So we're looking for this high that broke down this low. So we have a bullish order flow at the moment. And as you guys know, the only time, if I wonder, like, this is the high that super this, tap the high to key level. But keep in mind, we're looking for the highs that break the lows. Those are the important price point for a market structure shift, as well as they're important for key levels, right? In the daily time frame. And this is what we have for gold, or DXY, I mean. But yeah, thanks for watching. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share. Join us down below, and I'll see you guys later. Not description. Don't join Discord. Join the Telegram. Link description down below, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out. This is for the higher time frame outlook on DXY and EU. Peace out.